Good day and welcome to class time, your daily classroom for CSEC students. Watch this lesson in real time on Television Jamaica's YouTube channel or OneSpot Media. Also, a repeat later on JNN at 5 p.m.
In today's lesson, we'll be giving you some exam tips on consumer arithmetic and set theory. I am Nikisha Bailey.
And I am Nikisha Hardy. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to be looking at consumer arithmetic and sets. So the focus for today's lesson is answering multiple choice questions on consumer arithmetic and sets.
Okay, so now for some exam tips when we're answering multiple choice questions. So our first tip, read the entire question carefully.
Okay, then reread the question and focus on what the question is asking.
That's very important. Then we want you to highlight all relevant information needed to answer the question. So you can underline, circle, whatever it is.
Okay. Also, eliminate wrong answers. That will help to save time.
And we'll see how that works later on.
Yes.
Decide on your plan. So how are you going to answer the question?
Yes. And then apply your strategy after you have made that decision.
Right. Important thing, check your work. Check, check, check.
All right. And ensure to indicate your answer, because sometimes we work the question, get our answer, we forget to indicate on our answer sheet our answer.
And multiple choice, we don't leave anything blank. We shade all the answers.
Definitely. All right, so these are the breakdown of the topics that we hope to cover during this session.
So for consumer arithmetic, we have quite a number of things. So we are thinking of profit and loss, hire purchase, discount and sales tax, interest, simple and compound, currency conversion, utility bills, depreciation, wages, overtime. And
just to name a few. Now under sets, we're hoping to look at intersection, union, subset, Venn diagram, complement of a set, set notation, cardinality of sets as well. So let's get into it. Okay. Starting with consumer arithmetic.
And our first question. So a dress which costs $180 is sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount is...
So you have read the question. Let's find out what the question is asking us, applying those tips that we have mentioned earlier. We also need to highlight the important words in the question. So we see discount. What is discount?
All right, so when we think of discount, we're thinking about we're paying less for our goods, right?
Right, because sometimes we go into stores and we see 10% discount to 15% discount when they're having a sale, or just
or sometimes they give you and they say like $1,000 off, or still discount.
Yes,
so discount can be given in terms of the percentage or the monetary amount.
Right. So it's a reduction. So it means therefore that my answer, because they're asking the amount of the discount, they're not asking the amount that you will pay for the dress after you have applied the discount.
All right. So we're looking at the figures 180 and 10. So can we eliminate any of these answers?
All right. So based on percentage, we see that 10% would be 1/10 of 180. So we know, based on what we know, that $170
that one is out.
We would have to eliminate that one.
Because it's just 10%, right?
It's just 10% of it.
All right, so let's see how we would do our calculation.
So we're looking at 10% of $180. And as we said before, that is 1/10 of 180.
And there we have it. So based on our calculations, the discount is going to be $18. So our answer here would be C.
Okay, makes sense. So that means $18 will be coming out of
that $180.
So the second question, a dinner at a restaurant was advertised at $60 plus 18% tax. The total bill for this dinner was. So here we are looking at the cost of the dinner, and we're seeing plus, which indicates addition or an increase in the price.
All right.
And also total, so we're looking also at addition again.
Right.
All right, so usually stores, when we purchase items, generally, we pay consumption tax, or we know GCT.
GCT.
Right. In our country, it is 16.5% currently. That's for the government.
Yes. Is it still 16.5 or is it 15? I think it's 15. I think it was reduced.
Oh, that's good. All right, so at this restaurant, the tax is 18%. So again, plus, remember we're talking about plus. So it means our answer, looking at our options, it couldn't be A because it would be more than $60, right? So we'd have eliminated A as an option.
So we have 3 options remaining.
3 options remaining to choose from.
Okay, so let's see which of these would be the correct option to choose.
All right.
So here we have our solution. So we have 2 methods for you. So method 1, we're basically finding 18% of the price that we're given, and then we're going to add what this increase amount is going to be. So we're going to be adding $60 to the amount that we calculate here.
So the tax would be added to the cost of the dinner.
So 18% of $60 would give us $10.80. So this is the tax that we're going to be adding to our original cost price.
For the dinner. And that would give us the total bill for the dinner of $70.80. Now we said there are 2 methods. So the $60, notice we have 118%. Usually percentage is out of 100. So the 100% would be the cost of the dinner, which is 60. However, we're adding another 18% to that. So we can add, as you can see, 18 to 100. So now we're calculating 118% of $60.
And that gives you the answer right away.
Right away, because you have already included the percentage.
Right. So clearly our answer is going to be B.
Awesome. Now we're going to buy a refrigerator, and the refrigerator cost $1,850. Now the buyer who is given a discount, here we're looking at discount again of 5% for a cash price. Now we mentioned discount before, and in the previous question we were looking at the discount amount.
Right.
This time we want to know how much the person will be paying for the refrigerator after discount, which is a reduction in the price.
All right.
So looking at our answers, B is less than, which is good. A is more than, so if it is a discount,
we can eliminate A.
Right. All right, and this is a 5% discount, so I'm thinking that D is too far off.
Right.
Yes, 5% of that D would be too far off, so we can eliminate A and D.
So we already have the working on screen. Hope you weren't cheating. All right, so our response here, the correct answer would be C.
All right, let's look at.
All right, so we're moving on to question 4. So the annual interest rate on a mortgage on a house assessed at a value of $450,000 is 5 cents on every $1. What is the interest paid on the mortgage for the first year? And what pops out here to me, this interest rate and mortgage.
Okay. Also in the question, it gives us the information of 5 cents on every $1. Okay.
And you know that some persons, they tend to get the cents mixed up. How do you write 5 cents? Also the 50 cents and the 5 cents, how do you actually represent it? So here we have a representation for you on the screen. So 5 cents
which is 5 out of 100 cents, because 100 cents make $1.
Right.
And also how many $1 are in 450,000? What? It's a giveaway. The same amount, 450,000
All right.
$1. All right, so that is saying that on every $1, 5 cents is paid as interest for the mortgage. So notice we are calculating the 5 cents off the value of the mortgage, which would give us 22,500.
So the option there would be B.
B. Yes.
All right. So question 5.
So here we're looking at this question where we're talking about simple interest. So it says the simple interest earned on $600 invested at 5% per annum for 3 years is given by. So we're looking at $600, which we have 3 figures in here, $600, which would represent the principal.
The principal or the money invested.
Right. And the 5% per annum would be our
Rate.
and the 3 years
Would be our time given.
or time given.
All right, so normally when we're working simple interest, there's this formula people normally use. We're multiplying the principal times the time times the
Rate. All right. And the rate is out of
given
100.
in percentage, so it's out of 100.
All right.
So using this formula that it's principal times time times the rate, we would expect to get $600 times 3, and the 3 here would be 3 years,
Yes.
times 5 out of 100.
Right.
But we should note that the 100 here is coming from the percentage linked to the 5.
rate. Yes. And if we should look over there,
So while we're not seeing a response that looks dead on, spot on to what we have here,
Yes.
we can see that option D
yes,
is actually the same. And we can say that this is as a result of the
commutative property
of multiplication.
Yes. All right.
So our answer here is
D.
D. So now question 6. Go ahead, Nikisha.
All right. So at the end of the year, a car is worth 5% less than what it was worth at the beginning of the year. So if a car is worth $9,500 in December 2016, that's the end of the year, then its value in January 2016, same year, was,
So we're looking at depreciation, right?
yes, because with cars, with motor vehicles, they lose value annually. They
Right.
do not cost the same at the end of the year. Value decrease.
Okay.
So in this situation, the value of the car is 5% less than it was at the beginning of the year.
So we need to point out also that the cost that we're given, the amount that we're given here is the amount at the end of the year. So if we want to find the amount at the beginning of the year, we know it's going to be more
than
$9,500.
Awesome.
So A
would be
automatically out.
Yes,
Why is A automatically out?
because it is less than 9,500, and it, based on what we're told, and we're looking at January, that's what we want to know. It should be more than 9,500.
It seemed like buck up because so far all the A's that we would have gone through, those are the ones that we're eliminating.
Not to take that as a general thing, please.
As I'm
Don't-
saying, it's a buck up.
So therefore means we first have to find 5% of, we're using the proportion method first. So here we have 95%, and this 95% would be the value, which is 5%
So that's the
less
end of the year.
than 95%.
So the 100% would be at the beginning of the year.
Right, and doing cross multiplication here, or inverse operation, making x a subject, would be dividing by 95.
So our response would be
$10,000.
$10,000. So at
Which
the
is more
beginning of
than-
the year,
Yes, 9,500 at the end, 10,000 at the beginning. That makes sense.
and you know, if students have a knowledge of what 10% is like.
Yes.
So they could actually start from the answers.
Yes.
So they could look at the answer. But I don't know, for me, this one looks like a nice number to me, the 10,000. So I'll say, all right. So 10% of 10,000 is 1,000.
Yes.
So 5% is half of that, which is
500.
500. So we take off 500.
Makes sense.
So you can make some intelligent guesses and actually check and see if your guess is correct.
Yes. And because, remember, multiple choice questions are time sensitive, so we have to ensure that we use our time wisely. All right, question 7.
All right, so a computer is sold on hire purchase, and the hire purchase price consists of a deposit of $850 and 8 monthly payments of $70 each. How much does a customer pay for the computer?
So this is another concept, hire purchase. This is another method of purchasing items if you don't have the cash, all the cash to pay for it. So the company offers you this payment option where you make a deposit and then make monthly installments of equal amount, and usually you end up paying more than the cash price or the mark price.
So it's convenient because you don't have all the money at once, but at the end of it, you're going to end up paying more than the original cost.
You have to pay to borrow. You have to pay to borrow. So let's see how much a customer would pay. So they have their deposit. Right, so we have our deposit plus $870. All right?
And $870 is going to give us $560.
So we know that option A wouldn't be an option, an answer, neither, because we'll be paying more than 850, and 8 and 5 is way more than that.
All right, so our option here is option D.
1,410.
Question 8. Some man's regular pay is $3 per hour up to 40 hours. Now, overtime is twice the payment for regular time. If he was paid $216, how many hours of overtime did he work?
Okay. Now, sometimes, as you can see, income is paid on different agreement. You have hourly paid or monthly payment or fortnightly payment. Now, in this situation, this person is being paid per hour, and the regular working hour is 40 hours per week, and for each of those 40 hours is $3
per hour. Right.
So now, overtime is the extra hours, any hour after more than 40.
And to be honest, since Corona, I feel like I'm doing a whole heap of overtime, you know.
I understand, me too. So overtime is hours extra more than the 40 hours. And usually this is where you make more money, because overtime, in this situation, you're being paid twice the payment of the regular rate. Time. So, or sometimes you can be paid 1.5. It depends on the company.
Right.
So twice the payment would be 2 times $3. Right? So we know that for every hour after 40 hours, we'd be getting $6 per hour.
Okay, that is right.
All right.
So the thing about this question is we're told what the overall pay is after when you include that overtime.
Yes.
So we want to find out how many hours of overtime the person worked. So here's our solution.
So let's first calculate, because we know that he worked $216 for the work hours that he did. For 40 hours is $3 multiplied by 40. Now this would give us this regular pay.
So which is $120.
So out of this $216, first part, the 40 hours is $120. So the rest would be for overtime. And remember, this overtime is calculated at $6 per hour.
So we know that the overtime pay is $96. So to find out the number of hours, we are dividing $96 by $6.
Right. And we will take, notice that we said we subtract total pay, take regular pay to give us the amount of money that was worked for overtime hours. And as we said, we got $96. All right?
So after we would have completed our calculations, our response is going to be?
Yes.
It's going to be B.
$16.
Right.
All right.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more exam tips. welcome back to class time. We're giving you some exam tips on consumer arithmetic and set theory. Now, when we left off at question 8, so we're picking up now at question 9. Nikisha, go ahead.
Thank you, Nikisha. So a man's taxable income is $35,200. He pays tax at a rate of 25%. The amount of income tax he pays is. So we want to find out how much is 25% of that taxable income, $35,200, that this gentleman will be paying out of his income.
And this income tax thing now is something that
we all have to pay as long as we're working.
One of those deductions that we don't really like to see, but it has to be taken out, right?
Yes. And some things we can look at. 25%. 25% is 1/4.
Right.
Same as 1/4. So it would mean that we would be dividing 35,200 by
4.
By 4. So we can therefore look to eliminate answers when we quickly can see that 3,500 divided by 4, that would not be A.
So again, we can eliminate A because if we work it backwards now, we multiply by 4. 8,000 by 4.
Divide by 4.
32,000. So A again cannot work.
I see what you mean when you say working backwards. You multiply the answer by 4.
If I skip out B now, because B cannot look sensible. Let's look at C. 9,000. Let's look at the 9,000. Multiplying that by 4. 36. That's
would be more than.
So that one is out. And this one is clearly
way out.
So my guess based on what we just did is that the answer is going to be B. And we can always check.
Let's check. All right. So let's find 25% of 35,200.
So my answer was correct.
$8,800. Awesome. So that was quick checking based on what we know about percentage, fractions, and decimal.
All right, so this one is on currency conversion. So if $6.40 in Trinidad and Tobago is equivalent to $1,
yes,
then if I have 16 TNT dollars, how much is this going to be in US dollars?
Talk to me, because I want some US dollars.
All right, so I'm going to be looking, I want some too, you know. I'm going to be looking at this question now. So we're comparing TNT and US dollars.
Awesome.
So we're given the rate. So $6.40 equivalent to $1 in the US. All right, so I'm looking at something. If I wanted $2,
yes,
I would be doubling this amount.
$6.40, yes.
So again, I'm going to kind of ignore the 40 cents a bit, just to have an idea of what the number is going to be like.
Yes.
So if I double $6, I'm expecting to get $12.
Yes.
So still need some more, not true?
Still need some more.
All right. If I triple $6,
3 6 is 18.
It's gonna be
more than.
It's gonna be more. All right. So can we now use this to eliminate some of these responses?
Between 2 and 3.
Between 2 and 3.
So between $2 and $3.
And again, students, this is for buck up. This is buck up that is always eliminated. All right. It's only buck up.
All right. So we're looking for an answer that is between $2 and $3. All right.
So A is out.
Yes.
C is out.
Yes.
B is out.
Yes.
So let's prove it. Let's check and see if it actually works.
Awesome. And remember, we're doing this because, remember, multiple choice questions are time sensitive.
Right. So based on our calculations, and again, we're using the proportion method here,
yes,
we find that X is actually $2.50.
So for my $16 TT dollars, I will get $2.50 US, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And boy, the US dollars, oh Lord, it's soaring. Oh, gone. All right, so
let's move to question 11.
All right, this one now, many students are gonna say, "Oi, Letters, no
Yeah,
numbers.
algebra.
Yes. All right. So this one is consumer arithmetic, but we're using some variables here.
Yes.
So if P peaches cost C cents, then the cost of one peach is, and to get you a little bit more comfortable, let's use some numbers.
All right. So sometimes you go to the market, right? You go to the market and you need to buy stuff. So for example, you're going to buy 3 pounds of yam, and the person says to you, it is $300, no, not $300, say $80 a pound for the yam. So you want 3 pounds, so it would be 3 times $80, or $380. That would give you the total cost for the 3 pounds of yam.
All right.
Because you already know the unit cost, which was $80, and
Quantity
would be 3
so
pounds.
3 pounds.
Right.
So we can find the cost price for the 3 pounds.
But sometimes you might go and you pick up an item, say for example in the supermarket, sometimes it just gives you the total price for the total weight, so you don't know how much the unit per pound. So you are seeing that $240 for this package. But how much does it cost for 1 pound in the package?
And you know, if you actually look closely at the packaging, you will see the unit price on it, but how many persons actually observe the things that they're buying?
And suppose it's not in the supermarket, suppose it's in the market you go, and the person just give you a price.
Right, they already have the things packaged and say, all right, this is for...
Yes, so you want to know the unit cost to
and
see
you can always use these things to help you to make your decisions when you're buying, you know.
Yes, definitely. So math counts in every situation.
All right, so if we use those figures that we discussed earlier, so it was the...
$80 per pound.
And 3 pounds, we got $240.
Yes.
So if we put some of these figures in our question here, so let's say that if 3 peaches cost $240, then the cost of 1 peach is?
I need now to divide the total cost by the amount of peaches that I just bought.
That is right.
So that would be 240 divided by 3 peaches.
Which would give us $80.
$80.
So what we just did is to help you to understand this a little bit better. So Nikisha mentioned that we are actually dividing.
Yes.
So if we use a concept of dividing, so our imaginary question was if 3 peaches cost $240.
Cents.
All right.
Yes.
So what we said we would have divided.
Yes.
So if we're dividing whatever number would have been here by this one.
Yes.
So it means that if we look at our actual question, then it's going to be whatever is here, which is C
divided by P.
P.
Makes sense.
And since we want the cost, we can leave off the units, which would be cents.
Awesome.
So our answer here is going to be?
And as we had discussed before, the number of items multiplied by the unit cost of the item will give us the cost for the total items. However, if you want to find the unit cost for the item, it means you'd have to divide the total cost by the number of items.
Right. So our answer here is B. B for Bailey. All right, so question 12. An insurance company charges the following annual rate per $1,000 for property insurance. And here's a quotation. So for comprehensive insurance, it is $2.25. Now, what is the annual premium payable for insuring a house valued at $250,000 under the comprehensive scheme?
So you have read that question and it seemed a little bit wordy.
Right.
Just read it again, reread it, and pick out the key points, the key words.
And sometimes we can just put our own little understanding to it. You know, have to read the English. You can go patwa.
Yes.
What do you understand from this? Not true?
Right. So this is saying annual rate per, and I know per mean each or for everyone, one. So for every $1,000 for property insurance, the comprehensive insurance is $2.25. And they're asking us for the value of insuring a house valued at $250,000 under this scheme.
So here what? The
Yes.
house value $250,000. And then someone must pay $1,000. I must pay $2.25 for every $1,000. So the question, how much $1,000 give me that the amount?
How many $1,000 are in 250,000? And it is telling you 250.
So I guess the working is going to be pretty simple.
Yes.
Well, at least we know what the calculation is going to be.
Yes.
So it's going to be the 250
50 times the rate per 1,000. All right? All right, so 250, sorry, because there are 250,000
in 250,000.
and each of them is paid at a rate of $2.25. Multiplying that will give us $562.50.
All right, so Nikisha, before we move on, is there a quicker way for students to actually do this calculation?
Dividing by, you mean
So
over
that last part, 250 times $2.25. Remember, they can't use the calculators in the exam. Is there a quicker way to do it?
We can look two times.
Two times.
250, which would be 500, and we know that
we have
20.
the cents,
and since we have the
it's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah,
than,
but we know that 25 is a quarter.
Right.
So it's a quarter of the 100.
And if you look at the options, so while the digits are similar, but the places
are different. The values are totally different.
Right. So using what you said, 250 times 2,
yes,
then I'm expecting 500, something more than, a little bit more than 500.
Yes.
So A again is out, buck up. B seems to be good. C, that's way out.
Yes.
And D is also way out.
Right.
So clearly, the most suitable response here would be B.
Awesome. All right, so this should, I think, take care of consumer arithmetic.
Yes, we have covered quite a number of concepts under consumer arithmetic.
And it just needs for you to practice in order for you to be efficient and proficient in applying the different skills and tips that we have mentioned earlier.
So now we're going to move into looking at some sets questions.
So our first question on the sets, we have, if U, the universal set, consists of elements 1, 2, 3, and the little dots in there mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And S, the set S is contain elements 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then S complement with the little mark at the top of S, complement, meaning that it's not a member of set S.
So it's not in S, but it should be a part of the universal set.
Because the universal set contains set S.
Okay.
Because these numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are a part of the universal set.
So basically, what I'm doing, I'm going to be looking at set S. So I'm looking firstly at my universal set, so the entire thing. So I know
Numbers
I'm looking at
1 to 10.
counting numbers.
Right.
From 1 to
10.
10. And I'm looking at set S, which has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I want the complement of set S, I'm looking at all the elements that are the counting numbers from 1 to 10. They're not in a set S.
They are not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So if I look at it now, what's missing from here that is in the universal set?
1 is missing, 2 is missing, 3 is missing, 9 is missing, and 10 is missing.
So there we have it. We have our answer. So again, A is out. B is out.
Yes, B is out because it doesn't include 9 and 10.
And the thing is, before we go any further, for A, while 9 and 10 is not included in S, this set is incomplete because we have more elements that were not included.
Right.
The same thing for B. C, almost there, but is not complete as well. There's something else missing.
Right.
But if we look at D, D has the answer, the set that contains all the missing elements from
set S.
And
that's what complement
is the complement of set S. So we have 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10.
Awesome.
So here we have an explanation for you.
All right. So in this question, we have a Venn diagram, and we're being asked to identify what the shaded portion represents. All right, so in the universal set, we have set P, two sets, sets P and Q. And we'll notice that there's both of them overlap. This overlap suggests what?
That there are elements that are common to both set P and set Q.
In other words, they're sharing some elements.
Right.
Awesome.
So if we were to, so this one is pretty straightforward because students would have been familiar with this,
Yes.
knowing that this is the intersection. But if we look at our options, so they know it means intersection, but do they know the symbols?
Okay.
All right, so the options. So this first one, what is the symbol?
That in the middle between P and Q would be our union symbol. And the union symbol suggests everything, both of them. All the elements in both sets coming
P
together
and Q
to make one.
All right, what about option B?
We have their P intersect Q complement. So we just did S complement. We talk about complement previously,
Right.
which are not in. So we're being asked in B here for the elements in P that intersect or are common in the complement, or those elements that are not in Q.
All right, so
And C is showing those elements that are not in P, intersecting those elements with the elements in Q.
and the final one is P intersect Q.
Intersect.
You know, there's something about this question. I'm looking at this question and I'm seeing that 3 of the options have the same symbol. So right away, I'm not even going to look at this first one. I don't know if it...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing 3 of the same thing here. So I'm going to say, all right, one of these must be the answer.
Yes, yes. So D would be your answer. P
All right.
intersect Q. Okay.
So in the figure, you can see the figure there in the center. The universal set
Which
has
is the
the
set-
elements A to H. So we could describe it as saying the universal set contains the first 8 letters of the alphabet.
Yes.
All right, so how do I read that part?
So we're being asked to list the elements that are in Y, X intersect Y, and we just talk about intersection, the elements that they share that are common
Right.
to both sets, and we want to unionize or join them with the elements in set Z.
All right, so we have 3 subsets of the universal set.
All right, and we notice that in set X we have B, C, E, F,
Set Y, we have C, D, F, G.
and in set Z we have E, F, G, H.
So we were to look at this question in parts. So X intersect Y would be all the elements that are common to both set X and set Y.
So if we look at our diagram, we would see that this portion where C is would be, that element would be the intersection for X and Y.
And we need to also include the F,
F.
because F is also in that overlap.
Awesome.
So there we have it. So that section contains the element C and
F.
Now, the elements in set Z, as we mentioned, would be E, F, G, and H. So if we put all these elements together,
And we're putting them together because it says union.
then our option is going to be A. So A is finally an answer.
And notice that F is
So
in both.
Nikisha, we're
Notice-
going to pause here for a
Okay,
bit.
okay.
We will wrap up things after this break.
Welcome back. Now, before the break, we were finishing up this question here. Now, before we move to the next question, I'd like to point out an important point. Notice that in set X intersect Y, we have element F, and it is also in the set Z as well. But however, in our answer, notice F is not written twice. All right, we do not write the element twice. We don't have to repeat the element. And that's important to note.
That's very important. Okay, so now on to question 4. So if set A contains the elements 3, 6, 9, then the number of subsets of A would be?
And when we talk about subsets, we're talking about sets that are a part of or coming from a larger set.
So, Nikisha, what sets can we get from this given set, set A?
All right, so currently set A consists of 3 elements, and we want to know how many other subsets, smaller sets, we can get from set A.
All right.
So I could put 3 in a set.
So 3 only?
Yes. I could also put 6 only.
6 only?
Or I could also put 9 only.
So that's 3 so far.
So I've made up sets of
So
1,
all
1.
right, option A, automatically out.
Okay. But what if I should do that and I just look at B and I choose B?
But the elements, the sets that you just gave me, they only contained 1 element. What if I wanted a set with 2 elements?
Okay, so I could so that means B would be out too. So I would therefore
right.
I could join 3 and 6 together to make a set. I could also do 6 and 9 to make a set.
3 and 9.
Or 3 and 9.
So far we have how many?
6.
6.
Yes.
But what if I wanted a set containing 3? Can the set be its own subset?
Yes. Yes. Yes, it can be.
But
and
what if
also,
the set doesn't contain any elements? Can that be a subset?
That can also be a subset, which would be an empty set.
Okay.
All right.
So there we have it. If we should always remember that a subset of a given set, we can always have, and we will always have the empty set and
the set itself as a part of the number of sets that can be derived from the sets.
So clearly the option here is going to be option D, because we had 6 originally and we included those 2 at the end.
The empty set and the set itself. Awesome. Or another conventional way, the number of sets is usually represented by 2 raised to the n power. And that n represents the number
of elements
in the set. But if you told me that long time, I would just go 1, 2, 3, and then 2 raised to the third power.
And 2 to the third power is actually 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, which gives us the
yes. 2 right. So 2 raised to the power of 3 is not 2 times 3. We are saying 2 raised to the power of 3 is multiplying 2 3 times.
Okay. So we're getting there.
Right.
So the answer is
8.
D.
Right. So that would be the number of sets that can come, number of subsets
that can come from the
set
given
A.
set.
Awesome.
All right, so question 5. Which of the following sets is equivalent to the set containing A, B, C, and D?
All right.
Now I'm seeing something here. Equivalent. What do we mean by equivalent?
Meaning that they have the same number of elements, the same elements, but they don't have to be, they don't have the same number of elements, but they don't have to actually look the same.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that students, they normally hear equivalent and they normally hear equal.
So what's the difference?
So
I can't use equal and equivalent interchangeably?
Well, there are times when you have, how is it again? So there are times when you have equal sets being
equivalent, but not equivalent being equal.
All right. All right, so if equivalent now means that they have the same number
Yes.
of elements, then clearly.
And I'm seeing there are 1, 2, 3, 4 elements.
So this 4 does not mean.
No, that means that set has 1 element.
So the element here is 4. So
Yes.
don't confuse the 4, the number of elements there, with option A, which
Right.
says that 4 is an element in this set. So clearly our answer is going to be C.
And notice C, as I said before, equivalent, they have the same number of, but they don't have to look the same. In this set, we have A, B, C, D. However, in set C, there are P, Q, R, and S.
All right. So let's move on quickly to question 6.
Okay.
So we have 3 sets here. So P, prime numbers, Q, odd numbers, and R, even numbers. Now, which of the following sets is empty? And these are our options.
All right.
So let's look at it. So prime numbers and odd numbers. Do we have anything,
All right.
any relation, any link between these two types of numbers?
Yeah, so prime numbers are numbers that are divisible only by 1 and itself. And the odd numbers would be numbers that are not divisible by 2 without leaving a remainder.
But we have to remember that 2 is a prime number.
Oh, yes.
So we can say that most of the prime numbers are odd with the exception of 2.
Awesome.
So if we link it with even numbers, we can say that there's only 1 even number that is
Prime
and odd numbers cannot be,
divided by 2 without
so they are not even.
No.
All right. So based on our discussion, which of these options would work?
To be empty.
So we just mentioned all of these.
Right.
So therefore, odd numbers cannot be even, and most prime numbers are odd numbers. And the only prime number that is even is 2. So the option here that fits would be option
D.
D, which says
All
that
right.
Q
Intersect R.
R.
All right, we have to go a little faster.
So that would be empty. Question 7. Which of the following sets is defined by, now Nikisha, help me with this one. How do I read this one?
So this is saying X is a member of the set of integers.
So that Z, that funny looking Z means set of integers, okay.
Right. Notice, and it is saying that the X is greater than -3, but less than or equal to -2.
So greater than -3, we're looking at -2 up, right? So it's not -4 as some persons might think.
So we're looking for values that are greater than -3. So we want to start in at -2, and we should go up to +2 because it is less than or equal to 2, which means +2 is included. And based on what I'm seeing there, C would be our option.
Okay.
Okay. And our last question, based on what we have time for.
So what does the shaded portion of this Venn diagram represent? So Nikisha, P is the only thing I'm not seeing shaded.
Right. And based on what we spoke
discussed earlier,
about complement,
so anything that is not in P,
it would be P complement.
So our answer here is going to be
A.
Finally, one answer is A. All right.
So that's all for today. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we'll be problem solving in measurement and statistics. Don't forget to tune in to our School Time channel on One Spot Media for additional subjects for all ages. Check the timetable. Until then, keep safe.
Hi there, I'm Simon Preston from TVJ. Thank you very much for watching our YouTube channel. To see our latest videos and also to see live events, click here. To see our full videos on onespotmedia.com, click here. Thank you very much for watching.